just past the All-Star break. So, first of all, I think I'm going to go over the standings. Then I might talk about some things I've thought about the season, some stories around the season. Then I might get into like stats leaders, like the top 5 for every stat. And finally we're going to talk about the award races and the current favorites for MVP and Rookie of the Year. Before we get into that, this is probably the last time I'm going to ask because I've already received so many questions on my other video, but if you have any questions for the upcoming Q&A video that I'm going to post next week, leave them in the comments down below. If you're seeing this video and it's been up for like 4, 5, 6 days or something, it's probably too late at that point to leave a question, but okay, let's get into, first of all, the standings. So we'll start with the Eastern Conference. And at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, the team with the worst record in the entire league, the Detroit Pistons, 8 wins, 46 losses. Team with the second worst record in the entire league, the Washington Wizards, with 9 wins, 45 losses. Which is crazy because they brought in Poole on that big contract. They have Kuzma on that big contract. And they're just absolute garbage. Like, free my guy, Denny Avdia. Bro, I really hope that the Blazers somehow swing a trade for Denny Avdia. I know they probably won't, but that dude deserves better. In 13th place, you have the Charlotte Hornets, who are 13 and 41. The 12th spot belongs to the Toronto Raptors. They're 19 and 36. The Nets are in 11th place, 21 and 33. The Hawks are in 10th place, 24 and 31. Ahead of them in 9th place is the Bulls, 26 and 29. Your first playoff spot, not just a play-in spot, 8th place Magic. Well, they changed it now, right? It's like 7, 8, 9, 10 are all play-in spots. I don't know how I still don't know how the play-in system works. To be like upfront with you guys, I have not watched a ton of NBA this season. I was watching a ton of NFL, the football, and now the football season's over, I've been watching a little bit of hockey, but I haven't really jumped into the NBA too much yet, especially because like my team sucks. So I'm like, what am I really watching for? I've watched a few games just to like see how the young guys look, but it's like, what am I watching for, right? Anyway, in 8th place we have Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic, 30 and 25. Also with 30 and 25, a team I'm kind of shocked to see them this low. But I think I kind of said it in my preseason video. I think they're a team that's built for the playoffs. They seem to get into the playoffs, then they're going to be better than they were in the regular season. At least hopefully if you're fans of the spots, the Heat at 30 and 25 as well. Ahead of them in 6th place is the Pacers at 31-25. Halliburton gone an absolute tear. I think he's top 3 point guard in the league this season. Who's up there? Luka's up there. SGA's up there. Brunson's up there. Tyrese. Steph. I know I'm missing somebody. At least a top 5 point guard league this season, I'd say. 5th spot, we have the 76ers. They're 32 and 22 in 4th place. Shockingly, maybe not shockingly, but to see them at 4. The New York Knicks, 33-22. Had them in the third spot. Maybe this one's shocking for some people. The Milwaukee Bucks, 35-21. They're on a 2-game lose streak. And the Cavaliers in the second spot, 36-17, and at the top of the East. I'm not gonna say I told you so, but the Boston Celtics, 43-12, a 6-game win streak, the longest win streak of any team in the Eastern Conference. Now let's move over to the West. At the bottom of the West, we have the San Antonio Spurs. We're pretty much only watching that team to watch Wembanyama at this point. They're 11-44. Just ahead of them are my Portland Trailblazers at 15-39. The 6-game losing streak. In 13th place, you have the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 20-36 and dealing with basically every single player on their roster being injured. Although that did not stop them from beating the Milwaukee Bucks the other night. So funny that they beat them with that roster they had. The Houston Rockets are 24-30 in 12th place, and 11th place with the Utah Jazz at 26-30. That's a little bit shocking to me. Let me see, are they dealing with injury issues? I haven't seen them. Because I really thought they would be doing better this season. They have nobody injured. And they're starting Keontae George, Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, John Collins, and Walker Kessler. Okay, so like point guard's obviously a bit of a weak spot for them, right? Yeah. But you have Sexton, who's decent. He's averaging 17, 2, and 5, basically. You have Markkanen, who's an all-star caliber guy. Although I don't think he made all-star this year. John Collins is, man, I'm actually kind of shocked that they're not doing better. They're down 11th. 10th place, you have the Golden State Warriors. In 9th place, the Los Angeles Lakers. 8th place, Sacramento Kings. They're 31-23. In 7th place, the holders of the longest winning streak in the Western Conference, you have the Dallas Mavericks. They've won 6 in a row. They're 32-23. The Pelicans are in 6th place. They're 33-22. The Suns are down in 5th, 33-22. The Nuggets are in 4th place. They're currently on a 3-game losing streak, which is a little weird. They're 36-19. In 3rd place, you have the Los Angeles Clippers. They're 36-17. In 2nd place, the Thunder. They're 37-17. And then in 1st place, and they've kind of been here all season long, you have the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're 39-16. They've won 4 games in a row. I did not see the Minnesota Timberwolves being this good, like, being a thing this season, especially because of how poorly it went last season with their Twin Towers experiment, Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. Last season it went really bad, but this season Edwards has been on fire. Gobert and Cat are working really well together. And it's just been, like, I mean, good for them, right? Minnesota sports need some good news. Okay, so just a couple storylines, things like that I want to talk about. And again, I haven't watched a ton of NBA this year. This is just some stuff off the top of my head. The Milwaukee Bucks. I talked about this in a couple previous videos. I think my season prediction videos and my video about Dame being traded. I said that I thought the Bucks would struggle more than people were expecting them once the Dame trade happened, I saw so many people that were like, the Bucks just won a ring. People were saying like they were just talking crazy. They were talking like it was a lock for them to go at the very least to a final, but there's people basically like, if they don't win a ring, it's a failure. And I'm sitting there and I was looking, I'm like, I don't think they're better than the Celtics, even with Dame. And the problem is, like, and this is, Damian Lillard has been a slump this season for sure, and that's not helping anything any. But even when Dame isn't slumping on offense, his defense has always been bad. Do you have Drew Holiday, who's one of, if not the best defensive point guard in the NBA? And it's almost like the Bucks took Drew Holiday for granted. Like they didn't understand how integral to their success he has been. Because I look at that roster, Giannis and Dame are the two main guys there, right? But you have Chris Middleton, you have Brook Lopez, and I think they have Pat Connaughton starting at the 2-guard spot. And I'm just saying, if you have a Pat Connaughton starting at shooting guard, you have issues. I think now they have Pat Bev there, so maybe he's starting at the 2. But like, I look at that team, Chris Middleton. Well, first of all, they're all old. Middleton's old. He has an injury history. His defense isn't great. Brook Lopez is old. I'm not sure if he has an injury history or not, but he can't play perimeter defense. He's completely interior defense only. Giannis, he's not old, but he had a couple. I think he had one injury in the playoffs last year that he played through. He's older, but he's not old, right? But again, his defense is interior defense. You have Dame, who's like, 33 or 34 now. He doesn't play any defense, interior or perimeter defense. And he's old. He has injury issues. He has his plantar fasciitis issue. He has that abdominal injury. He has all these injury issues. And the problem is, and a lot of people talk about Dame without actually watching the Blazers. I watched the Blazers for my whole life. Dame is not a pure shooter. He's a rhythm shooter. And the reason that he gets open on those big 3-point shots is because of his ability to explode and get to the rim. He has a great first step. He can attack the rim, he can dunk, he can get crafty layups, he's good at drawing fouls. But now that he's showing his age a little bit, that explosiveness is gone. That first step is not as not as fast as it used to be. So if Dame isn't as big of a threat to get to the rim, you can play him a little bit tighter on the outside. And you can see his 3-point percentage is terrible right now. I think there was a game that he was like, I think he went 7 for 24 from the field or something like that. Like, his shot just isn't falling because guys can play him tighter because they know he can't get past him and get to the rim like he used to be able to. And then the problem is too is his body language has been bad, especially on defense. Like, he's not even trying on defense. He's not even putting in effort. It's not even really a matter of him being bad. I know he has issues with his personal life and stuff, but I also think part of it is he went from being the guy, right? Damian Lillard could run for mayor of Portland and win 100% of the vote. He was the guy. Nobody ever questioned him, even though we knew that he had these defensive issues and stuff. We never pointed it out. We never talked trash. We're like, yeah, Dame, do whatever you want to do. We let him play hero ball. He was the Batman. He wasn't Robin. And kind of looking into some behind the scenes stuff, like, he was organizing all the team events. He was coordinating stuff with his teammates. He had a lot of sway in the front office. He was friends with the owners, right? But now he goes to Milwaukee. He's not the guy anymore. Giannis is that guy. He's Robin. And the fan base has bigger expectations on him. Damian Lillard isn't playing defense. The fan base is letting him hear about that. In Portland, we didn't say anything about that. We're like, yeah, man, we're glad you're here. Plus, he has a divorce and other stuff, so it's going to be interesting to see where the Bucks go in the latter half of the season. Now, once they get into the playoffs, I don't think they're in any danger of missing the playoffs. Anything can happen at that point, right? It's a 7-game series, so if Dame gets hot, if he and Giannis are both, turned on at the same time, pause. Anything can happen, but, and that's not to say anything about Doc Rivers. The Bucks are 3-7 since Doc Rivers showed up. They lost to that terrible Grizzlies team, and Doc Rivers today, today there's this interview, and then there's some other interviews where he's kind of throwing players under the bus and kind of making excuses and stuff, and it's just like, man, I've never been a Doc Rivers fan. I think I've said that in previous videos. I think that he ghosts off of one ring that he really didn't have anything to do with. I could have coached that Celtics team to an NBA title, right? They were winning. And it shocks me that Doc Rivers has gotten as many chances as he's gotten. But anyways, that's the Bucks. The Clippers, they made that Harden trade, and then he sucked for a couple games, and people were clowning on them. And now they're climbing up. They're number 3 now. And I think this might be, looking at the West, I don't think there's any team in the Western Conference that is definitively better than them. I think the Clippers are right up there with the Nuggets, with the Timberwolves, with the Suns, with now the Thunder, now just looking at those teams at the top of the West, I don't think you can say that any of those teams are definitively better than the Clippers, especially when they're healthy. And I think if the Clippers get into the playoffs with a healthy Harden, a healthy Paul George, and a healthy Kawhi, I think they have as good a chance as anybody else, except for maybe the Celtics, who should maybe be seen as head and shoulders. Maybe the Celtics are minus 150, and the Clippers, the Nuggets, whatever, they're minus 100, but I think this year could be the year that maybe the Clippers, with this big 3, could make a title run if they can stay healthy. They've looked really good. Speaking of teams that I think could go on a run, I want to talk about, just the New York Knicks. They made that trade. They brought in OG Anunoby, and now they're 4th in the East. Jalen Brunson, I was looking at his stats, I think the New York Knicks as a whole are one of the most efficient teams in the entire NBA, especially on offense, and Brunson has just found another gear this season, and the better Brunson looks, the more and more incompetent it makes the Dallas Mavericks front office look, for just letting him walk for nothing, not even treating him for anything. I'm sitting there, man, if he would have been, I'm just picturing Brunson and Luka together still, and what that team could have been, but, he's the guy in New York, and they play a very team-oriented game. It's not just one dude, and, I think, looking at the East, assuming everybody's healthy, I think I put Boston ahead of New York. I put the Sixers with a healthy Embiid ahead of New York. I put the Bucks ahead of New York. I think them and the Cavs are kind of maybe at a similar level, but I think they could get to the Eastern Conference Final potentially this year, depending on how the final seeding breaks down. I think that'd be really exciting. LeBron, looking at, the Lakers are now in a play-in spot. Looking at it, I think realistically, this is probably LeBron's second to last season. I think next year is going to be LeBron's last year. He's 39. I think this is his last chance for a ring. And this Lakers team is starting to heat up a little bit. I don't think they have enough to get it done. Now you get LeBron James into the playoffs, he can perhaps make magic happen, right? That's what he does, but I don't think they have enough to get it done with this Lakers squad. I think they got too many issues, but there were some rumors and that they've kind of been shot down, but I personally kind of believe they were real. There were rumors that they were trying to get LeBron to Golden State to play with Steph. And like I said, those got shut down, but me personally, I don't know why, but I feel like there is a little bit of fire to that smoke. I think that those talks were more real than some people in the media have let on. And I don't think he's happy with the direction the Lakers front office has gone. I think he knows that team isn't good enough to win a ring. And his career going out like this, like LeBron hasn't been in a final since, well, I guess since they won it. They got the COVID ring in the bubble, and I think that was the last year LeBron was in a final. It's been a few years now. And if he doesn't get back to the finals before his retirement year, I think that's going to be crazy. But I think he's going to play next year because he's signing these one-year deals, right? I think he's going to go, whoever drafts Bronny, he'll go play with them and then retire. Embiid's injuries, and I don't think he's eligible for MVP anymore, which is unfortunate because I think he was the odds-on favorite, but he's missed too many games now because they have like a 65-game requirement now, I think, or a 60-game requirement, like something like that. But right now he's going to miss the next like 6 to 8 weeks, I believe, and I don't even know if he's going to be healthy in time for the playoffs given the kind of injury he's had, but I mean, just really unfortunate because you look at Embiid's career, and I'm not an Embiid fan, but you know, just as a sports fan or from a human perspective, this guy has gotten so close. He's dealt with multiple injuries. He's dealt with having Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz brought in as the guys to elevate his team to championship caliber. And like, since Embiid's gone down, the Sixers are 3-5. They're at a minus 7.1 net rating. So with him on the bench hurt, they went down to 7.1 points in net rating. Like, you know, he's very important to that team, and I don't know where they finish with him going. You know, assuming they maintain a similar trajectory, they could finish anywhere from 8. They could finish in 8th because the Magic are surging. The Heaters, they're in 5th right now. They could finish, I think, 8, 9, 10 maybe if Embiid doesn't get back soon. They're in a scary spot at the moment, but it's just the way the injuries have affected his career at this point. It's just really unfortunate. And finally, there's some smoke around Trae Young perhaps being traded this offseason. You look at that Atlanta Hawks team, it seems very dysfunctional. The DeJounte Murray trade, although it kind of worked out the first season he was there, looking like a bad move. And they had that playoff run a couple years back. They had those big games against the Knicks. And ever since then, Trae Young's just kind of like not done much. The Hawks haven't done much. And for a guy as exciting as Trae Young is, the way he plays the game, his offense, you know, the highlight reel type plays, he should be getting more attention, but he doesn't because he's playing on a really bad team, mediocre team at best. And so I think, you know, for him, for his career, he probably is thinking he needs to get out of Atlanta because the Atlanta front office has just completely mismanaged things since he was drafted there, kind of similar to the Dallas Mavericks front office with Luka, but it'll be interested to see where Trae Young goes. Nothing jumps off the page at me. Let me see. Let me see. The Spurs and Hawks discussed a potential trade. The Spurs are considered the favorite for landing Trae Young if the Hawks decide to trade him this summer. Let's see. The Spurs have circulated for months among prominent league observers as a viable destination for Trae Young's offensive gifts. In Victor Wembanyama, they also seemingly possess precisely the sort of long and rangy defensive anchor who could mitigate Young's defensive deficiencies. It is likewise believed in some quarters league that Young would have interest in South Texas as a destination if he were to leave Atlanta. Trae Young paired with Wembanyama could be nasty. Trae Young is a better playmaker than people give him credit for. Great shooter. Trae and Wemby built around those two guys because San Antonio can afford whatever contract Trae gets. That could be nice. I would like to see that, I think. Okay, now we're just gonna go over some season leaders real quick. Top 5 in each category. Points per game. In 5th place we have Kevin Durant, 28.2 points per game. 4th place we have Donovan Mitchell, 28.4 points per game. 3rd place we have Giannis Antetokounmpo, 30.8 points per game. 2nd place we have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 31.1 points per game, and in 1st place, well ahead of the pack, Luka Doncic, 34.2 points per game. Rebounds per game in 5th place we have Jalen Duren, 12 points per game. Tied with him in 4th place is Nikola Jokic, also at 12. In 3rd place we have Anthony Davis at 12.2. 2nd spot we got Rudy Gobert, 12.5, and leading the pack is Domantas Sabonis, 13.2 rebounds per game. Assists per game, 5th place we have James Harden, 8.4. James Harden being top 5 in assists. Like, people thought he's, I'd lived through the ball hawk allegations on Harden, but he is sharing the ball very well. 4th place is Nikola Jokic, 8.9. 3rd place, Luka Doncic, 9.5. 2nd spot, we were just talking about him, Trae Young, 10.9. And leading the league in assists per game is Tyrese Halliburton with 11.7. Dude's playmaking's nuts. Blocks per game, 5th place we have Anthony Davis, 2.5. 4th place we have Chet Holmgren, 2.6. 3rd place we have Brook Lopez, 2.7. 2nd place we have Walker Kessler, 2.8. And leading the pack by 0.4 blocks, the rookie Victor Wembanyama, his first year in the league and already projected to finish first in blocks per game. Steals per game, 5th spot you have Paul George, 1.6. 4th place you have Kawhi Leonard, 1.7. That Clippers team plays absolutely smothering perimeter defense. I think they are the best perimeter defense team in the entire league. And I think in a league that's so 3-point heavy, that's going to really benefit the Clippers in the playoffs is how dominant their perimeter defense is. 3rd place we have De'Aaron Fox with 1.9 steals per game. 2nd place Donovan Mitchell, 1.9. And leading the NBA in steals per game is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 2.2. 3-point percentage. In 5th spot we have Jalen Williams, 45.3. Fourth place, we have Norman Powell at 45.3. Third place is Kawhi Leonard at 45.3. So not only are they smothering on the perimeter, they'll also splash threes in your face. That's crazy. Second place is Luke Kennard at 45.3, and leading the NBA in three-point percentage is Grayson Allen with 48.2%. Grayson Allen is hitting almost half of all of his shots. I think he's coming off the bench for Phoenix at the moment. That's nuts. Now, the MVP. So right now, I'm going to be using the MGM Sportsbook odds. The favorite is Nikola Jokic. Now, Joel Embiid was the favorite, but like I said, he's been disqualified for missing games. Embiid is minus 130. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's second favorite at plus 210. In third place, you have Luka Doncic plus 900. Fourth place is Giannis, also at plus 900. And now you have a big jump here. Jason Tatum is fifth at plus 2,500. Then you have Kawhi at plus 6,600. Jalen Brunson at plus 8,000. Donovan Mitchell at plus 12,500. And finally Kevin Durant at plus 20,000 odds. So in my opinion, it's going to come down to Jokic, who I think will probably win it again. If it's not Jokic, it'll be either SGA or Luka. Now, Rookie of the Year is basically a two-man race at the moment. Wembanyama's the favorite, but just barely behind him is Chet Holmgren. And your third most likely rookie after them is plus 10,000. So right now Victor is minus 150. Chet is minus 100. And then in third place is Asar Thompson plus 10,000. So yeah, it's a two-man race. Nobody else is gonna be Rookie of the Year besides one of those two guys. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Get those questions in. And if you have any thoughts on this NBA season so far, let me know that in the comments down below as well. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this almost every single day. Till next time guys. Bye bye.